We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
Co-creation at its best. You are knowing what you are wanting. You like the idea of knowing what you are wanting?
Yes.
Does your desire feel good to you? Mostly? That's such a good sign, isn't it? Because when your desire pleases you, it means that you are in the vibrational vicinity of it. We are going to be serenaded today. Lovely tinkling sound of the light fixtures. Sort of nice, isn't it? When you know what you want and you don't doubt it, in other words, you believe it or you expect it, then desire is really life-giving, isn't it? So the best way to explain this to you, and we're going to give you a conversation right now that we've never given to anyone ever. So whether it's the first time that you're in the room or the first time that you're really hearing this, still, everyone's going to be hearing this for the first time. You are more than these bodies sitting here in these clumps. Beautiful clumps, beautiful clumps. But you are more than these bodies sitting here. You are more than the personality that you know as you. You are source energy extended into this time-space reality. And before you came into this body, you were source energy, pure, positive, non-resisted energy. Only love and appreciation, no judgment, no pushing against anything. Pure, positive clarity. That's who you are as non-physical. So from that non-physical standpoint, you project yourself here into this physical body. A part of that consciousness comes to that which you are. So you are an extension of that source energy. Now that source energy that you were before you came into this physical body, already having lived a very long, in your way of understanding it, time, in this timeless universe, you've been around for lots and lots and lots of vibrational expansion and evolution. So you are what you want to call God or source. That's who you are coming into this physical body. And that intention that you held, this is the best word for it, the trajectory of you, pure positive energy, which means love, worthiness, knowing value of self, powerful positive expectation of the joyful life that you would be living here in this, what you saw to be perfect balance. No judgment about those who were living differently than you when you were born into this experience. No judgment about the environment into which you were being born. Just pure, positive energy coming into this experience. Trajectory is the word that we want you to hold in your mind. This powerful trajectory of well-being. That's who you are coming in. So here you are in your physical body, and over time, you look around, you begin exploring, and you usually, if you are like most humans, don't stay in that place of pure positive expectation, self-appreciation, appreciation of others, because you begin doing what you knew you would do. You begin a sort of comparative dance, because it's in your relationship with variety that you come to your personal conclusions. Now, we want to insert into this conversation the powerful and important word that describes who you are, creator. You came into this experience as a creator, and so you were very enthusiastic about the variety of life that you would explore, because you knew that the variety of life would cause you to launch your further, hear that matters, your further projections or intentions or trajectory of what you thought is wonderful life. In other words, as life caused someone to be rude to you, you launched a rocket of being nicer. If you ever found yourself being misunderstood and maybe being rude about something, you launched a rocket about wanting to be nicer, because in every particle of everything there is wanted and absence of it. So anytime you experience the absence of something that from your knowledge or trajectory of well-being was off from it, you launched a clarifying rocket of what would be better. Now, this is the part that we have not said to you before. We're so eager for you to hear this and integrate this into your understanding. So see that trajectory. Do you follow that? Does that make sense to you? The trajectory of who you are coming in, and then see yourself living life and adding to that trajectory of well-being. In other words, you just got more sure about how you want to live well. If you are sick, you just got more sure about the wellness that you want to live. If you have not enough of something, you just got more sure about the abundance that you're looking for. So this non-physical you, who is very clear about well-being and living utter well-being, came into this physical experience with you and got clearer about things. The trajectory of who you are got clearer and clearer and clearer. Another way of saying that, got more specific, more specific, more specific, more personally tailored. Now, you don't realize how personally tailored you really were coming in, but you were. But when you add to it from your physical experience, you just get more and more clear about who you are and what you want. So now, stay with us for just a moment. We're going to recap just a little bit because we want to make sure you got hold of that piece. You were a trajectory coming into this experience that this experience caused you to add to. And the trajectory of who you are, clarity, prosperity, love, just got stronger and more detailed. And law of attraction, which is the manager of all of this vibrational universe, is the reason that momentum gets stronger. Are you with us so far? So who you are has been living life and becoming more evolved. The evolution of all species is about what we just described. Life experience causes you, in your perfect awareness, to become more. And the source within you is reveling in that evolution. So here you are in your physical body, and that's happening. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And the source within you, stay focused on that, the trajectory of the source within you becomes more detailed, more specific, more clear, more expanded. It's what life causes. But in your physical body, where you just explored the contrast, even though that larger non-physical part of you, because of what you are living, experienced that more detailed expansion, trajectory, keep using that word, trajectory, expanded well-being, more specific because of what you're living here. In your physical format, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, Source knows what you do want and becomes it. But if you're beating the drum of what you don't want, then while there is this trajectory of the expanded improvement or improvement evolution of your trajectory, in your physical form, sometimes, even though you've launched it, you don't follow the trajectory. Your conversation is about, well, I would like to be more prosperous, but I'm not. I would like to feel better in my body, but I don't feel so good. I would like to like that person, but that person is obnoxious and rude, and I don't like that person. So feel what's happening. The true trajectory of who you are is moving in this direction, for example, but what you're doing with your in-the-moment thought is something that is different. And so there is a variance in the vibration that is you. The non-physical part of you went this way on its logical path, but because you are sometimes enamored with what's surrounding you or looking for your alignment with someone else, and that's the way they think, and so you're thinking that way, you get separated is too strong a word, but you create what we are recently calling a vibrational wobble in your experience, because who you really are is this, but who you're being is this, and because both of those frequencies are present within you, because you can never separate yourself from the source who is you. Now you've become more, but you're not letting yourself go, not quite yet. And so you got two vibrations going on. That is the introduction of resistance into your vibration. And the way you read it, the way you know it, the way you recognize that early on wobble is your emotions tell you. Because when there is no wobble, you feel love. Because Source is loving that person. When you are too, there's no wobble. It's just you and you in alignment. When you are appreciating yourself, Source always appreciates you. So Source is on the trajectory of adoring you, appreciating you, knowing your value. And when you are too, you feel proud, you feel energized, you feel vitality. But when you're hard on yourself, you create a wobble, and you can feel it in your emotions, you see. So trajectory, source trajectory. The question is, are you following that trajectory, which is what we have always been calling, if you've been listening to us for a while, the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance is the path of most allowance. It's the path that you've most long been on. It's the path of your strongest vibration. But you came into this physical time-space reality wanting the opportunity. We all wanted it. We all wanted the opportunity for you to explore variety, because how are you going to know what an improvement is if you don't have some comparative experience in order to come to those new conclusions? The evolution of all species, all consciousness, all beingness is about that. Are you with us? We know. We like it. So now let's tell you the same story the way we have been telling it to you. You were source energy before you came into this body. You came into this body, and here you are in this body, splat. We like that part. And you're exploring variety, and you know what you don't want, and you know what you do want. And when you know what you do want, you launch these rockets of desire. Did you hear what we just said to you? You launch those rockets of desire. You add to the trajectory, that is you. And we said to you, that's step one. You come, you explore, and you come to your personal conclusions, which means you ask. Step one is you ask. Life insists that you do. You can't not ask. You're asking all day, every day, at so many levels of your being. It would take all day just to identify the levels of your being that are asking. Just take our word for it, you're asking. Step one is happening, whether you know that it is or not. You don't have to work at that. It's happening. Step two is source answers what you're asking for. Wrote a whole book about that. Ask and it is given. Ask and it is given. What did we just tell you about that? How is it given when you ask? Because in the moment that you launch that rocket onto that trajectory, source is right on it. In other words, source becomes the vibrational equivalent of everything you ask for when you ask for it. As the things that you ask for line up with the love and the clarity and the beingness and the well-being and the perfection that is you, you ask and it is given. See how that fits in? But your work, we say, is step three. And step three is you must be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. Which means if you've asked and source is on it and you're wobbling because you're focused upon the absence of it, you're not allowing. You see what we're getting at? Step three is where all of your work is, because step one is happening and step two is happening. You're asking, you're adding to the trajectory. The question is, how true to the trajectory of who you really are you being? And the answer is, in most cases, not that true. Because you are enamored. Oh, we love you so much. You know what's coming next. We love you so much. You are so enamored with the conditions of your environment that you give your attention to conditions that aren't a match to what source within you is giving attention to. So you split your energy. You split your energy, introduce resistance into the equation. You feel it in the form of your emotional guidance system. You create a wobble. What do you think about that? Isn't that the easiest way you've ever understood who you are and why you feel the way you feel in any moment in time? You are magnificent creators who have come to expand, but you've made too much of a lifestyle out of the asking part. And we want you to turn your attention and make a lifestyle out of the alignment part, out of the coming into alignment with your true path. You are not a puppet on a string. You existed with intention and you have a trajectory going. Before you came into this physical body, there was no puppetry going on. There was no one else making those decisions. You were that expanding being and you still are. The question is, in your current expansion, are you paying attention to who you really are, or are you just flailing around all over the place and letting the conditions that surround you dictate how you feel? Oh. So good to gain control of your understanding about this, isn't it?